Well, we have all had those moments with other drivers and their poor driving habits on the road. But how about a little kid driving his toy car? Well, one woman in a California park freaked out about a child driving one of those cute little battery-powered cars in the park. The angry woman yelled at the little boy's mother for allowing him to drive in the California park without a license. Watch.
They're playing. That's what the park is for.
I never saw a car in here before.
It's a Power Wheel car,
It doesn't
man.
bother me. What bothers me is you have a little kid in here that doesn't have a driver's license. He's just a little kid and you're not with him.
It's not a real car.
It seems all the mom wanted was for her son and the other kids to play, but the lady going ballistic wanted the child to produce a driver's license. A driver's license. And the mom to be in the car with him. That'd be fun to watch. But that means the little boy would only need a driver's permit if the mother was with him.
Wouldn't even have to show registration.
No.
But you know, Governor, when I think of angry women, my mind goes immediately to my friend Todd's wife. You see, last year, he forgot their anniversary. So she chewed him out and said, tomorrow I'd better find a gift in the driveway that goes from 0 to 100 in 6 seconds. Well, she woke up, went out to the driveway, and found a beautiful, beautifully wrapped box. When she opened it, she found a brand new bathroom scale. Ooh. I miss my friend Todd. I really do.
Bet you do, Keith. All right, let's get back to our story. All I can say is that angry woman's place is not in a park, and definitely not in the kitchen, because that's where all the sharp knives are being kept. Nice. Yeah. Well, one thing the coronavirus has taught us is that experts aren't always right. But LiveScience.com reports that that's been true at least since the 1600s, when physics genius Sir Isaac Newton invented a cure for the Black Plague. It was more like black magic, or a plague on both your nostrils. Now, I warn you, equal and opposite reaction to this story might be to run to the bathroom and hurl. You see, Newton proposed hanging a toad upside down in a chimney until it barfed up some earth with insects in it. Then powder the toad's body, mix it with the toad vomit, form it into lozenges, and, oh no, don't swallow them. Wear them near the affected area to drive away the contagion. Suddenly, wearing a face mask doesn't sound so bad after all.
Like that,
yeah. Uncle Newty's toad vomit lozenges didn't cure the plague, but boy, did they make everyone else social distance, and way more than 6 feet away from you. Of course, the cure was worse than the disease, especially for the toad. You know, I've always wondered what was in Fig Newtons. Now, I no longer want to know. Incidentally, Newton said if you couldn't get toad vomit, you could substitute sapphires. But I warn you, if your wife wants a sapphire bracelet, do not substitute toad vomit. Not a good idea.
Wouldn't be good.
Well, I'm sure you've seen some cute little animal at the zoo and you just wanted to pet it so badly. But let me assure you, don't ever, ever decide to pet a lion. A fellow on a driving safari in Serengeti National Park decided to get up close and friendly with a lion. And yes, he did. Try to pet the king of the beast. I can't believe a photo or video was not enough for Mr. Wild Kingdom. He's lucky he didn't end up the main course of the lion's lunch.
Yeah, you know, Governor, I once had a neighbor who told me he had spotted a lion in the neighborhood. But I reminded him that if it was spotted, it was more likely a leopard.
Wow. I'm thinking you're right on that one, Keith.
Yeah.
But by the way, if you take pride in that joke, I know you're lying. Okay, back to our story on tourists and lions. Now, what about when a lion is in a good mood, like in this safari park in Crimea? This one didn't want to meet or eat tourists. He just wanted to drive the cart.
Wow.
You know, this whole dumb tourist moment reminds me of the story of two guys running as fast as they could down the road while yelling, "Help, help, a lion has escaped." One fellow on the sidewalk shouts, "Which way did he go?" And the two guys shout back, You big ding-dong, you don't think we're chasing it, do you?
Yeah.
Well, from the land of the cuckoo clock comes a story about someone who must be really cuckoo, as in cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Because authorities in Lucerne, Switzerland are trying to track down an unknown passenger who left behind $190,000 worth of gold bars on a train.
What?
Have they called Mr. T? Hey, they've searched for months to no avail.
Well, Governor, this kind of reminds me of the time my uncle decided he wanted to deposit his inheritance in a Swiss bank. Flew all the way to Switzerland, found a bank, walked up to the teller and whispered, "I want to deposit $1 million as quietly as he could." Bank teller says, "You can talk aloud here, fella. Poverty's no shame in Switzerland." Yeah.
Hey, Keith, that reminds me of the time I met a Swiss gentleman and asked him what was the best thing about living in Switzerland. You know what he said?
No. What?
The flag's a big plus. Get it? White plus sign on a red background. Got it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, let's go back.
Partially, anyway.
Let's go back to the missing gold. Now, they're giving the owner 5 years to claim the gold. If you leave behind a pile of gold bars and don't even notice it for 5 years, I think that may be God's way of telling you you're too rich.
Yeah.
But I got an idea. If nobody has claimed them in 5 years, I think they might be mine. By the way, I can even describe them. They're rectangular, they're gold colored, and if no one else claims them, just mail them to me here in Hendersonville, because I've been wondering where those gold bars went.
Oh, I'll come and get them. You don't have to mail them to me.
Yeah, I think we can share them. Well, we've all heard about the benefits of carpooling, less pollution, save on gas, and that most important one, when you ride alone, you ride with Hitler. You're wasting gas. And while we are not quite as effective at it as people, say, overseas are, it does have its upside. Except, of course, when it's a literal car driving into a literal pool. Sheriff's deputies were following a car that had been reported for speeding in San Diego when it lost control, ran down a steep hill, and plunged into the backyard pool of a private residence. Ooh. Guy really made a splash. He really did. By the time deputies were able to get down to the pool, the driver had exited the submerged vehicle and escaped. A deputy reported, the vehicle was unoccupied, the driver is outstanding. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's outstanding, but he is certainly evasive, even if it cost them a permanent car wash. And by the way, that reminds me of my niece who once told me that she was thrilled when they put a new car wash in her neighborhood. She said, "Why, it's so nearby, I'll be able to walk to it."
There you go.
Well, just like a deer on the first day of hunting season, we've run out of time. But always remember,
we read the news.
Wait, don't click that button. Well, unless it was the subscribe button, and then carry on. And while you're down there, hit that little notification bell too. Oh, and if you leave a like and a comment, I will personally give my dog Toby a treat. Leave a like, feed a dog, as I always say.